Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride one horse open sleigh. Oh, sugar. Hello, Chepits. Welcome to this very special video, which I'm putting up very, very lately. This is my top 10 presents that you can buy for your non-gaming friends. Those last minute kind of stocking stuffers that you can just run out quickly and pick up and then buy and then give it to the person, and then they go, oh, did I buy you a board game? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to try it? And then these games actually do really work really well for those non-gaming friends that go, okay, I'll have a quick go. You know, because there's nothing worse than buying someone a Christmas present. You know, you buy them X-Wing and then it's still on their shelf in the shrink wrap a year later because they're not into X-Wing, but they are into They are into having a good time. I was going to say playing games, but they're into having a good time. And these are the games that I recommend that you should go and get for those non-gaming friends for Christmas. If you just remembered that you haven't got them anything for Christmas and you're going around their house for lunch or something. But yeah, let's start off with number 10.
Number 10.
So to kick off with my number 10 comes with a kind of cautionary tale. Well, it doesn't actually come with a cautionary tale, but I'm going to say you have to be careful with this one. This kind of present is only for that special friend that kind of sees eye to eye with you if you are a kind of, I don't know, what word would you use? And a person that doesn't mind being insulted. You know, if you have that kind of relationship and you insult your friends and they insult you back, you'll probably like this game. It's called Tango. Or Tango, which means shut your mouth. It's French. This is the French game. And it works pretty much similar to Cards Against Humanity, which you could probably get as well. And it's in a kind of apples to apples-esque kind of game, where one player will take a turn to be a judge, and they will read a question to the other players. The other players will have a card with 4 responses on it. They choose one of these responses and they tell them back to the question asker, the judge, and afterwards the judge decides which one was the most insulting and says to them, shut your mouth. And then that player gains a point. Play passes to the next player, they become the judge, and the same thing goes round, and you exhaust all your responses on your card before you get a new card, and the game keeps going until one of the players has got X amount of points. It's really, the points don't really matter too much, but it is just a fun, laugh out loud kind of game if you like have friends that like insulting people and insulting each other. And that's it. Tango, number 10.
Number 9.
My number 9 is a game for those people that say they're not gamers, but they're always on their phone playing some game while you're hanging out with them or something or other. Yeah, this is Colourpop, which is a kind of Candy Crush-esque type of game where players are going to be removing their colour from the board without the other players knowing what their colour is. And it's the player that has removed the most or all of their colours from the board that wins this game. It's really simple. It comes with some really beautiful components. And it's just a really quick playing game. It plays about 15-20 minutes and people can kind of like this, and it plays up to 5 players and it's Candy Crush-esque and it's beautiful to look at, and that's my number 9.
Number 8.
My number 8 is a game where people will say, oh, it's a drawing game? And you'll go, no, but you draw in it. Esquisse, or Telestrations for you guys. Yes, Telestrations is a drawing game of sorts. What will happen is players will have a secret word. They will write that word down and then they will draw that word. and then they will close their book and pass it to the player on the left, who will look at your drawing and then write down what word they think it is, and then pass on that book to the next player, who will look at the word that the last player written and then draw what that word is. And this keeps going around. It's a Chinese whispers of where you mixing from drawing to writing to drawing to writing. And the great thing about it is you don't need to be a good drawer to have a whale of a time with this game. The more crappy your drawing is, the funnier the result is at the end, because when you open your book and you start off with elephant but you end up with grandmother, you know, it's just a hoot. My number 8, Tellustrations.
Number 7.
Now my number 7 is a game which is very similar to my number 10, but it's for those people that don't use naughty words and don't insult other people. It is, of course, Dixit. Now, Dixit uses a bit of imagination, but works on the same kind of principle. What you'll have is some surreal cards, and one player will be a judge or storyteller, and they will give a clue in a phrase, song, or sound, or a word about one of their cards, and they'll place it face down. The other players will then play a card face down which resembles that story that the storyteller is told. And then you mix them up, reveal them, and then players try and guess which one is the actual card from the storyteller. Very, very, very light. Uses quite a bit of imagination, because you need to give a clue which at least one player needs to get right. Because if everybody gets it right, nobody wins apart from the people that got it right. Yeah, so you have to be careful. It is very imaginative, but it's very light and fluffy and colourful, and it is a hoot as well, and that's Dixit.
Number 6.
My number 6 is a game which feels like a game show, and this is very, 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 very light and fluffy, and people will just get into very, very quickly. And it is called Qui perd gagne, who pairs wins, which I think sounds nice. It sounds better than plucking pears. Yes, this game is plucking pears. In this game, you'll put out a bunch of images on the table, and they'll be numbered, and players will need to pair these images up however they feel they should be paired, and they do this all in secret. And then you go around the table and reveal who paired what with what, and you'll get more points with other players if other players have paired like what you have. And then it's really, really amusing. It's very light. You can score if you want to, but you could just play it just for the fun and the laughter and hearing how people have connected this image with that image, and you go, my God, I didn't think of that. Or you'll go, what a weirdo that guy is. Yeah, this is a really kind of game show-esque, light, as you can see, it looks like a game show as well. But it's light and fluffy, and it's fun, and it just goes on and on. This is a game that you'll play one round and probably go, well, let's play another round. Yeah, plucking pears. Who pairs wins.
Number 5.
My number 5 goes back to traditional kind of card games. This is probably a game that you're going to want to get for your parents if they're not into gaming. I was going to put in For Sale in this spot, but there's one game that goes down so much better than For Sale, and that's The Great Mutti. It is just a small card game, and it resembles many other kind of trick-taking card games where the object of the game is to get rid of all your cards. If you're the first player to get rid of your cards, you become the Great Mutti, which gives you some privileges. You get to sit at the head of the table, and the last person to get rid of their cards becomes the peon, the little servant, and they sit next to the Great Mutti, and they have to clean up all the cards, and they have to give the Great Mutti his best cards every round. And this game is just so fun and light and fluffy and familiar. It's a card game. It's, you win the trick, you get to lead the next trick. And these tricks are done with numbers of cards. So if you've got 4 12s, the next player has to follow 4 cards, but a number below that. So 4 8s or 4 6s, but you can't play 4 3s because there's only 3 number 3 cards in the deck, and there's 2 number 2 cards in the deck, and then 1 number 1 card in the deck. So this game becomes a real kind of, how do I manage my hand? How can I win this trick and lead the next trick and get rid of all my cards? Again, it's a lot of fun if you shuffle around on your chairs in the order from the Great Dane Mutti. So the first player out is the Great Dane Mutti, then the second player out sits next to the Great Dane Mutti, and then the third player out sits next to the next second player out, and you keep moving around and around. It's just really fun. I can't recommend this game enough. That's the Great Dane Mutti.
Number 4.
Number 4 is probably the ultimate party game. It comes in 3 rounds, and it involves words, and it involves people guessing those words. It's Time's Up. Yes, this card game, which is in this sack somewhere, is very, very simple. You're going to be given a pile of cards and be split into teams, and on your turn, one player will have to try and make the rest of their team guess all the words on these cards. The ones that they guess, you get to keep those cards until the next round. In the first round, you'll be explaining, you'll be describing as much as you want what this word is. The second round, you'll be using the same cards, but this time you're going to be only using one word to try and get the rest of your team members to remember what word they said before, which is on the card. And then the third round, you do the same again, but in mime. You have to mime the word, and hopefully your team has remembered all the words that... It is just hilarious fun. I know people don't like miming, but you know what? They get up at the end of the game and they do start miming, because it kind of breaks down as the game goes on. You know, you start off, you get describing a word. Okay, this word is snow. Okay, it's white. It comes in winter. It falls from the sky. The next turn, it goes on and on and on. Great fun game, and that is Time's Up.
Number 3.
My number 3, you can't really go wrong. If you know your friend and what they like, this game is going to work. And they may not be the person that likes to play games, but they will play this eventually, okay? And when I say eventually, they'll play it pretty quickly. They just join in, okay? And that is Timeline or Cardline. It's the same series, and there is a lot of these different packs around. Timeline is a chronological game where, like this one is music and cinema. You'll have a lot of music and cinema film-esque events on cards, and each player is trying to get rid of a X amount of cards in front of them, and they're putting these cards into a chronological line, and the more cards that are added to this line, the harder it gets, because did Jaws come out before Close Encounters and Indiana Jones, or after, or in between, or you know? And card line is pretty much the same. This is again much more for the children. Again, it comes in a few varied flavors, where you're putting animals in size order, or in age expectancy order, or weight. It's simple. It's just a card game, and you're just putting it into a line. But whenever I play it, there are people that are stood behind and they're watching, and they go, no, that doesn't go there, it goes there. And eventually that person is sat in the table playing that game. Timeline, card line, these games are great, and as I said, they come in a variety of flavors. So if you know your friend and they're into music, or if they're into history, or they're into countries, there's a timeline for them.
Number 2.
My number 2 is an elegant game, which could be suited to the older generation, or it just be suited to someone that has a really nice looking house, if you've got one of those kind of friends. And again, if they're a non-gamer, this is a game with very, very minimal rules, looks beautiful, and will get up to 8 people playing at the same time. Suro it is just an abstract game where you're playing tiles in front of a dragon and hopefully keeping your dragon on the board. It's as simple as that. It's not got a lot of depth, but you feel like there's a lot of depth in the choices that you make in the tiles. And should you try and ram that dragon off the sky, or should you just try and stay in your own space? It's extremely light. It plays a great number of players, and the more players that are in there, the funner it is. It looks beautiful on the table. What else can I say? I've recently reviewed it, and that is Suro, or Suro of the Sea, which is the new version.
Number 1.
And finally, my number 1 is a game which you cannot go wrong with. You buy this game for anybody. Anybody, literally anybody, apart from a 4-year-old kid. They will love this game. Qwirkle. What else should I say? Qwirkle is my number 1 choice for a present that you should buy your non-gaming friend, because they will play it. Okay, yeah, it's a small number of players, up to 4 players, but it is playable and fun and light. It plays like Scrabble. Everybody's played Scrabble. Not everybody likes Scrabble because there's always that friend that knows more words than you. But in Qwirkle, it's like Scrabble, but you're placing lines of colors or lines of shapes to get points, and it plays so much easy. And it doesn't play so much easy, but it plays really easily. And I've never had a problem with this game. People go, "Oh, you play board games?" Yeah, sit down, play this. "Oh, this is really good." I've got a woman of 87 years old who loves playing this game. The only game she'll play now is Qwirkle. This is the most fantastic game for a non-gamer to get them into probably playing games and enjoying themselves and having lots of fun. So there you go. That's my top 10 list, and now I've got to put these games away where they belong. Thank you very much for making me do that. But hopefully there's a game in there which you think, oh my God, yeah, that would go great with so-and-so. Yes, because so-and-so needs to play games, because we all need to play and we all need to have fun. And Christmas is the best time because you're going to be with your friends and your family, and you don't just want to eat, drink beer and watch telly and fall asleep. You want to interact and you want to have fun, and that's the best part about Christmas. That's the best part I like about Christmas as well, is going to see my family in England and playing some games with them, because that's the best memories that I have. And getting them to play games is always a struggle because they don't want to play that or that. They want to play something really light and fluffy, and all these games are light and fluffy. So hopefully I've pointed you in the right direction of what to get that person that you've just remembered you've got to get a present for, and you go around their house. So give this video a thumbs or likes up, and if you liked it, subscribe to my channel. Throw some money my way for my Patreon to help support what I'm doing. Yes, the computer's fixed. Yes, the new camera is nearly there because I've nearly got enough money to buy a new camera. This is going so great. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will catch you soon. Have a good Christmas, and I won't sing any more for you. Seriously.
Oh, wow. I rolled a 1. I believe I've earned a critical failure song, gentlemen.
Just sitting at the table next to Felicia would be quite nice. Wouldn't it be good? I got some board games, I don't know how many. Just like they do on beer board games. Man, it sure costs not an errand dream. I got no friends, stupid, with Dylan has no shame, so I play solo, just me and my team. Why is it been nice? Say I like board games. People look at me.
In this video, I will catch you soon. Have a good Christmas, and I won't sing any more for you. Seriously. Apart from that.